Beautifully, beautifully done. Good morning, everyone. So I was just commandeered to do announcements because we have one camera person that didn't show up today. And Mike, that usually does the announcements, is up there running the camera. But he runs so many things anyway. He's always running 2 or 3 things. So today I wound up with the announcements very quickly. Today at 12:45, that's after this service, about 12:45, we have our all-church luncheon. You can have lunch with the ministers at this restaurant, the Mariposa Margarita restaurant. It's on 28th and Valmont. That's right down about 2 blocks. There's a little shopping center there, and that's where they have. And the price is right. It's about a $16 meal at the Mariposa. Then we have this Unity Core group starting on the 29th of September, and it's from 6:30 to 8:30 on Thursday evenings. So if you have a Thursday evenings that you have wondered what you can do, you can come and join this Core Unity group. It's going to share the principles of unity and all the beliefs of unity. That's going to take place. And I'm starting a techniques of meditation class. And that's going to be starting this Wednesday. I know it's short notice. If you can't make it this Wednesday, though, you can make it up at the end of the 5 weeks. It's going to be a 5-week class, and I'm going to teach 5 different techniques of meditation. You'll certainly find one that works for you. The cost of that class is $60, and you can register for it in the bookstore. Is there anybody here new for the first time? Oh, okay. We love having you here for the first time. And is anybody here from another Unity? All righty. You are going to love this talk coming up. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity today. This is the point in our service where we call it the call for prayer. This is a time for us to take notice, take an inventory of people that may need prayer at this time, or even if it's you that needs prayer right now. We have prayer sheets in front of you that are located in the pews. You can write a name down. You don't need to write what the issue is of the person. We know that God already knows what is needed before we even ask. This is really a practice of us stepping into the spiritual power that we are, realizing that we're resonating at healing levels whenever we get out of our mental way and become the spiritual affluence that we are in our own lives. So we sing this song to call ourselves to connect with this greater power within us we call spirit, and we encourage you to sing with us. This is Steve Hayes. He'll be walking down, collecting your prayers. Then he will take them to our prayer box where they'll be prayed over for the next 30 days, and then they will be sent to Silent Unity for another 30 days.
You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me, and I
And so it is. Now we want to invite Rebecca Abraxas up to sing one of her original numbers. She's always amazing, and let's give her a warm Boulder welcome for one of our greatest singers, Rebecca Abraxas.
Hi, thank you. Life can have a funny way of building you up and bringing you down. And life is never against you. It's like a magic mirror that helps you see and has your back. You're beautiful. In the light, you're beautiful. In the light, stay beautiful. In your light, you're beautiful. Your tears and your laughter and everything in between can give you information of what and where you want to be. The presence where you get to be free. You're beautiful. In the light, you're beautiful. In the light, stay beautiful. In your light, you're beautiful. Nothing takes away your dreams, nothing takes your joy. There's nothing that can ruin your day. You get to make the choice. This is your moment to find a way. You sparkle, you smile, you be you. No one can be the you be. You sparkle, you smile, you be you. No one can be the you be. You're beautiful. In the light, you're beautiful. In the light, stay beautiful. In your light, you're beautiful.
Thank you, Rebecca. Wonderful, wonderful way to start. So right before this talk, I was planning on ending in a meditation, but I decided that I'd rather start with a meditation today so we could kind of get into a place where we're open and receptive to what I'm going to share with you today. But today's talk is titled The Power of Making a Firm Decision. And in order for us to make a firm decision, I feel like we might want to open up to the spiritual ether, the spiritual energy we call spirit or God or source, and to remember the power of that energy and how anywhere we're not experiencing some sort of flow for good in areas that are stagnating or stressful or hard, that they are created by us. That we are the firm energy that's going against it, not allowing a furtherment or a betterment in something that needs new flow, new energy, new life. So let's just go into meditation and just get our feet grounded and close our eyes and just get into the presence, breathing in and out with a and in again. Taking this time to leave the world outside of these doors and coming into the presence of this holy moment. A holy moment for remembrance of something that might not be in your current consciousness, but lives somewhere in a superconsciousness or subconsciousness. And so we're here to evoke a memory. I'm going to read these words and see if you could try to resonate with them. Before the heavens were made, and all the stars were placed, we were all one. We were all one inside God's own heart. Do you remember? Let's visit that for a minute. Do you remember? Do you remember how we wondered how it would be to walk on this great earth? Walking on this great earth, what that dream must have been like, to think about coming into physicality from the heart and mind of God. Having forgotten our true nature and believing only in our dreams, how our Father, Mother would bring us together again in oneness by awakening our minds to the real spiritual presence as us, as individual, and as collective. How many times we have passed by each other on this lonely planet, asleep to our true selves and home. But what if today things can be different? Oh, beloved, please wake up. Please wake up. You are the very seeds of awakening in this world. So don't sleep now. Don't turn back. Don't turn away from the support of grace. Flourish in the self. Flourish now and step in. Flourish now and know that I am God through you in and as expression. And so it is. Amen. So we come back into this room and hopefully remembering our divine oneness and this omnipresence of this greater power we call love, really. At the core of it, that's what it is. Love is the enduring energy. Love is the attracting energy. Love is the source and center that heals everything. So I wanted to go forward and look back on what we've been learning this summer. You know, ultimately, every sermon that I give, you know, I'm in a season of law of attraction because I just started the prosperity class. But in the end, it's all about what we're putting in this world and what we're getting back, and how that vibrational experience is going for us. And we can always directly say how it's going by looking how our life is going. So through the summer, we've been sharing things like how our thoughts, what we hold in mind, are what are attracting what's going on in our lives, what we're thinking about. Are they empowering thoughts? Are they beautiful thoughts? Are they inspiring thoughts? And so therefore we're experiencing an inspiring life, right? And then we go on to our words. What are we expressing in this world? What are we saying to others about life and ourselves? And are the words that we're sharing bringing comfort and inviting light and beautiful energy into their lives as you would like it to be being brought into yours? Or are you sharing the ills and the hardships and the gossip of others that are having a hard time in their lives just for fill-in conversation? We talked about vibration last week. What are we vibrating? What tone are we vibrating at? Are we vibrating at a high frequency that stays with God in the morning or source and meditates and prays and is with this conscious co-creator before even coffee to evoke the winds of the spiritual part of us that was born in the heart of God, that was to walk in union with each other where there is no separation, but just brothers and sisters together on this path? What is this vibration that we're sharing? Are we stepping into the vibration of fear? Are we stepping in the vibration of lack? Are we vibrating an energy that we believe all of our good is behind us? Are we vibrating in a high energy of faith in this greater something that is always co-creating a new, reinvigorated life if we believe we deserve that, right? So today, the talk title is The Power of Making a Firm Decision. And you're probably wondering, what does that mean? And I'm going to go on. We're going to talk about that a little bit, right? What does that mean? We talk about certain sayings that we think to ourselves and how they're either empowering or disempowering. And then we share the words, and then we vibrate at that same level. So these are some of the questions that people ask me. When will that distant day come? When will it be the moment when the universe is conspiring for me? When will that distant day come when the universe is conspiring for me? When will I get released from this inner battle that keeps me distracted and afraid today? When will I be released from this affirmation of ill and unhappiness and all the energies that do not serve for healing and light and love? When will I be released by that? And I believe that in a lifetime we are in constant communication with the universe. There is never a time that we're not. But there are phases that we can feel that way. And I've been in phases like that in my life, many times in my life. Usually women tend to reevaluate their lives at least every 10 years. Usually at the big ones like 30 and 40, like these bigger birthdays, we probably spend about 2 years leading into that birthday, reevaluating, because we're earth mothers, we're mothers, so we really understand that we have to prepare for the changes, the seasons of life. We're just naturally more connected to the seasons of life, to the energies and the frequencies of this world. I'm not saying that all men aren't capable of that, but women just naturally, because of the giving birth in life, we tend to be the ones that hold the space for others as they birth and die from the old ways of being. We tend to be the ones that are holding them through these experiences of life. And when the universe is supporting us, it's not like it's like fireworks in the sky to show us that the universe is supporting us. It's something as simple as you realizing that you're breathing, and it's breathing for you without you noticing. Your heart is beating, and it's beating without you even noticing. It's these simple things that we really take for granted and don't really have a lot of consciousness around. We just realize that when we meditate and we sit in the current energy of light and love. We move into the breath of God that deepens and slows down. We move into the heart of God that slows down and now is working at the pace of what Spirit wanted the physicality to be as a spiritual soul. So it's always guiding us, especially when we lose our thoughts and gain our equilibrium in this power of now. In this power of now. So the universe nudges us in directions to get us where we are needing to go. But most often we ignore it. We're always getting nudges. We are always getting encouragement. We're always getting furtherment in that which is what is being called for any outer circumstance or even inner circumstance. But are we noticing it when those urges are coming through? You see, this next era of your life isn't about pain or about suffering. It's about celebrating your learned lessons and anchoring in unconditional love. It's about having curiosity for having new experiences, renewed experiences, and about watching your dreams unfold in front of you. The only thing is that you have to be able to receive these blessings. You have to be able to receive it. And the universe is going to give it to you through people, through situations. It's usually a human experience. It's going to be through a career. And a lot of us have a hard time receiving the good that is brought to us through the human condition of higher consciousness people that are going to walk into our life and say, I've got the exact job for you. And then you realize it's your purpose. Or a financial situation where someone can just kind of help you get on the right path with both your feet landed, and now finally you can fly and new things can come to you. But we're all so incapable of allowing this oneness that when we're abundant, we have it to give and share and grow each other to move into this higher consciousness. And when we're down, we're allowed to say, thank you for the help. Thank you for reaching up for me and not forgetting that I too am on this path with you. You have to accept that your time of suffering and pain is over. We have to be willing to let go of these chaotic energies. I know we all once thrived on those, but I know that we're all actually really tired of the chaotic energy, right? That doesn't mean that the world's chaotic energy is ending. It's us stepping into our divine heritage as a perfect child of God, to resonate in that energy of that heart of God that created us. It's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be difficult. Yeah, there are phases that we learn a lot from the difficult. Yes. But then when we really get it, when we finally get that anchoring in spirit, then we step in and we don't look back anymore, and we let go of that language, we let go of that old vibration, we let go of the old way of being. We have to allow the calmer waters in. The challenge now is that you have to have the capacity to live in a higher vibrational state, one that's happy, abundant, joyous, one free of gossip and turmoil, an environment where you can truly thrive. Accept that it is here and you will manifest it all around you. You've got this. We all have got this. We have been through a journey for the last 6 weeks, and all the talks have been being given here, and they're not because I'm giving these talks in this particular sequence. I follow the energy of you, all of you collectively, and then Spirit writes these sermons, and it's saying, on this last Thursday when I wrote this talk, this is it. All of that was necessary to get to today. We get to let go of the chaotic energy now. We get to learn without suffering. We get to grow into the light and realize today is our opportunity, and I'm going to show you how the stars are going to show us that happened this last week. And before I knew that, I'd written this sermon. This last Thursday, The new moon in Virgo on September 14th is well aspected to Uranus. So the meaning of the new moon in September, which just happened this last Thursday, astrologically is making positive changes, implementing new ideas, and taking advantage of exciting opportunities. The new moon also aligns within a star that makes people noble, generous, daring, self-controlled, single-minded, and tenacious. It brings the possibility of good fortune, honor, and wealth. These are the cycles I'm talking about, and all of the things, and also we went, Mercury is left retrograde on Friday the 15th, so we had two major astrological things happen that shifted. Did anybody feel that some of that dense energy changed this last Thursday or Friday? Wow, so like 50% felt that shift. When we follow that feeling, that is the universe. When you say, I don't know when the universe is contacting me, but look at how you all felt it without knowing, and maybe you knew, but maybe you probably didn't know, that something massively shifted astrologically, and all of a sudden put us in alignment. All of that research, all of that prayer, all that meditation, all these things we've been doing all summer was preparing us for right here, right now. And this is putting us into a 28-day cycle for refreshing bursts of energy in every area where we felt like we couldn't move forward. Every door's open in those areas now. It almost feels like we've come out of the dark night of the soul, which is a journey that we have to do when we go inward and we come back out and we're better. We get deepened and then we get better. But this time we're all together in it. We've cleaned out emotions and fears and upsets and things that were holding us stuck and feeling separate and apart from one another. When you realize we're all brought from the heart of God in oneness. If you really, really saw your life that we're all here together, in it together, what would that change? What would happen then? You would have more interactions of the togetherness. Whether they even have stepped in and even realized that we are all one, your energy of oneness invites everyone to be a part of that. Oneness, you are the leader of that energy when you decide to be that conduit of spirit in this world. So there is a practice that I've been noticing on social media where people are going into darkness physically for 5 to 7 days. And then when they come out into the light, they see through a completely different lens. And it's quite a sacrifice to think of going into like a cave for 5 or 7 days. For me, I'm kind of a claustrophobic person, so when I actually watch these videos, they spark like, I know I need to do it, because things that scare me is something I've got to do, right? And I end up doing them eventually. But there's a few of them that I've watched, and I feel like it's kind of like us, except that it took us this last 3 months to get here, to emerge from the dark cave. And I just want to share this video with you.
It's my relationship with myself that was scaring me. And what I do think I gained these last 7 days was to just not beat myself up so much.
And I think that's a really, really powerful message to get after 5 or 7 days. So often it's not really about the world picking on us or the circumstances outside of us coming after us, although we tend to look at those things more often. We don't tend to look at how hard we are on ourselves. The worst critique person in our world is this person that's speaking to us, that there's any area that we are less than. pushing ourselves to do more than we could ever possibly pull off in a day or a week. Talking to our bodies and saying it's just not enough, and so therefore I'm not going to put my good in my life because I still am not the weight I want to be, or I'm not with the partner I want to be, or I'm just not living any purpose, I have no meaning. All these things that this inner critic says to us that just keeps reminding us to give up in the face of a changing world. The true goal of this spiritual work is really attending to that. Attending to that inner critic. If we are created from the heart of God and put down here in this oneness, if it was some separate entity, which we don't believe in, we know that it's this expanded light being that we're all collectively together are as, is what God is, Spirit is. If there was this separate entity, how would God feel about us speaking about his children that way? Referring to this vessel of this Christ light, of this Buddha light, of this divine nature, this intuitive, psychic, gorgeous, healing vessel of the divine, living with a voice that's constantly putting it down, and you wonder why we're all getting sick. You wonder why we all feel separate and apart. You wonder why we are desperate for connection, true heart connection, because it was never meant to be this separate journey. It was always about community. Look at the tribal, indigenous people. It's all about that oneness, the collective of everybody being that particular important piece of what is being called, so that this nucleus runs seamlessly without words. There's always a group of people noticing who's having a hard time, and they surround that. And then they are the ones that also bring the light to the ones and join the ones that are in the light. We're all collectively calling oneness to the one that is who we are collectively. This universe is always talking to us, but are we listening? Do you ever feel like the universe is trying to tell you something, but you just don't understand the message? Do you find yourself seeking answers to questions in your life and never quite find the solution? This brings us to the point where we have to realize we have to learn the language of the universe. How does the universe communicate with us? It speaks to us through dreams. It speaks to us through symbols of numbers and animals and birds and timing and butterflies and direct wisdom and a second sight, a moment where you thought of something and immediately the answer came to you through an email of somebody else. We are all co-creating in this conductive energy of spirit showing us what is needed. But that's when we put the lens on of meditation. The lens that puts us in this golden spirit I talked about last Sunday. If you looked at us with an infrared camera, we are light. We are not this physical body. We are spiritual beings first. So some of the ways we start to decode this conversation or inspiration from the universe, we have to cultivate the desire to receive. To receive this divine wisdom. Sometimes we have to ask questions while simultaneously holding some apprehension about the answers. When posing questions to the universe or to our higher self, this apprehension is noted. Remember that ultimately the universe is always giving you love. Even if we just receive the love from the universe while we're still trying to figure things out, is a great way to step into a higher vibration. I was walking with my daughter, Arinya, this last Thursday before I wrote this sermon, and she's 26 years old, and she was heading to Hawaii the next day, to Kauai. And on our walk, I'd been up since 5 in the morning working on all this major stuff I have to do right now with the church. And I'm up a lot writing. And then I have a prosperity class I'm teaching, and I'm writing, and then I'm writing sermons. So I'm just writing. I'm just sitting at my computer constantly writing right now. And I love it. And sometimes I'd like to just go play a little bit more. And I'm walking with my daughter, and she's just in this dreamy place, and she's talking about going to Hawaii the next day, and how badly she needs this trip, and how badly she needs this trip, and how badly she needs this trip, when she's been like 5 trips this summer to like different countries, and been to the Taylor Swift concert, and to every big concert that happened at Red Rocks, and it was just like a walk like this. Don't say anything, but I do still have an ego a little bit. So I had to quiet that ego, because I just want to celebrate her good, baby. I just want to celebrate that good. But if she said she needed that trip one more time, thank God she didn't. Okay. And I walked with her. I quieted that ego. I sat with it and was like, look at this life she has created for herself. Look at the abundance. Look at the dreaminess. Look at all of it. And when we got home, before she left on her trip, she was walking into her car, and I stopped her, and I looked in her eyes, and I said, Arenya, I just hope that you're saying thank you all the time. That you are in gratitude of this blessing of a life that you are living. And just keep blessing it and being grateful, and it will keep coming unto you. It's just amazing, to watch and to bask in that aura. So I came into the house by myself, and that voice tried to chime in that was going on inside of me. And why? I was asking myself, why has my life been a sequence of more and more work this lifetime? I was asking how and why and how and why. And I sat with it, and the strongest hit from the universe showed me in my mind's eye, you produced this girl. You produced her. Think of that. I produced her. You showed her all of her potential and all of her gifts. And you taught her how to be a powerful manifester. And she believed you. And I sat there and was like, oh my God. I mean, I know God produced her through me, but I was the mommy, I was the person that led her life. And then I had to be with myself. Why can I teach all of this, show and demonstrate all of this, but still struggle to feel the worthiness of this abundance and these adventures for myself? And I sat down and I wrote this. Power of making a firm decision. In the quest of awakening or divinely manifesting your true inheritance as a perfect child of God, one has to dedicate themselves with unwavering faith in the power of the living entity within oneself. In the quest of awakening or divinely manifesting your true inheritance as a perfect child of God, one has to dedicate themselves with unwavering faith in the power of the living entity within oneself. I'm not saying that my parents didn't show me all the ways to cultivate a spiritual life or how to be a co-creator of abundance, and I believe we have different karmic contracts. I believe in that massively. I believe that I was here to be deepened and deepened and deepened and deepened by the crisis of the human condition and the difficult of the human condition and the heartbreak of it. But I don't believe from this vantage point that I had to put myself through all of that to understand what I understand now. So we have to cultivate a true desire to hear from the universe. Be willing to accept the answers no matter how or through whom they come. You may receive your answers from a stranger, an unlikely source, a random occurrence, or even a billboard. The possibilities are endless. However, you must truly seek it out before it will be revealed to you. So I just sat down and closed my eyes, and from what God wrote through me with my eyes closed, I was now aware, and that I had forgotten that that was how the universe used to communicate with me, was closing my eyes and just letting God write what was needed. And this is what God wrote. There is no more changing one's mind, one's heart, when opportunity lands in the palm of the spiritual hand. Insight and revelations happens when one yields the fruit of its labor without question of why and how. Just a simple soul nod to the vessel for which is experiencing all of it in real time. Now you know that it's no longer about everyone else's good, but it is your good to be attained and appreciated. Wisdom child, it's finally your turn. Can you believe it? All that seeking, all that wanting, all of that self-abandonment is over. Rest, breathe, bask, knowing all of it was culminating for you up to this point. It was all for this moment. It was all for you to experience something different so that you could recognize your seat at the altar now, today, blissfully home where you have always belonged. Beloved, welcome home. Your angels are singing. Your spirit guides are celebrating. The you that you once were is no longer. The you today is an exuberant expression of divine unfoldment. Nothing will stop you, nothing can. There's no doing, there's no seeking. You are now the animated vibration for all your expanded good to land right here and right now. And so it is. Amen. So when Spirit talks with us, speaks to us, and I don't think I would have listened to the universe if I hadn't gotten to that frustrated end. When you get to that point where you're visited with something that you've visited a lot in your lifetime, and in order for me not to upset this perfect child of God, which is my daughter, I did not want to participate in a conversation that would lower her vibration. That is consciousness. We have lots of times that things are happening outside of us that we would like to attain, we'd like to ask more questions. But this journey is not about trying to seek into her little world to figure out, how did you get to the point where you believed you deserved all this? Who told you that? No, I basked in her aura. I looked at that bright hair, and those bright eyes, and those bright lips, and that beautiful skin, and what a beautiful outpicturing of God in this world. That's how I saw her. And she's a part of me, and I'm a part of her. And she's a part of you, and you're a part of her. And you're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. We are all of the above. The question is which part of us is going to now start listening to this universe? And when we are kind of pushed up to that edge where we have to see all of the ways we've been limiting ourselves and not allowing ourselves to have all this joy, all this abundance, all of this travel, all this exuberance, all this fun, how are we pushing up against that and not allowing that in? At the very beginning, it said we have to put ourselves in a position to receive. Position to receive. So there's lots of things. Noticing all the recurring experiences, that's a lot of the ways that the universe talks to us. noticing, replaying situations, the synchronicities of stuff, like how there's a repeat of things or conversations that seem like the same one between four people. You just see these waves where it's just, when you really look from this lens, the universe is always communicating with us. It's really fun. It's really fun, and you actually see that the universe has humor, too, and it's funny, and you realize how silly we are for not listening. Boy, that was clear as a bell, clear as a bell, clear as a bell, and you'll find yourself laughing because you're like, jeepers, how come I didn't notice it before? But we're so stubborn. We're so stubborn that we think we've figured out this whole life thing, right? And we just keep looking through the same lens, and we keep thinking we're going to do the same thing and a different result. We kind of get stuck in these loops, and we get stuck in these patterns. But the only person we're letting down is ourselves. Edgar Cayce says this: "We were with God in the beginning, and through choice and experience, we found ourselves cut off from a complete awareness of spirit. In one respect, the fall of humankind was really our descent in consciousness from the realms of infinity to those of time and space. However, this was not necessarily a bad thing or an erroneous choice. Just as a child learns through experiences, by making choices, and even by making mistakes along the way, our own experiences will help our souls to mature. And that process will enable us to come into our full heritage and an awareness of our true spiritual nature and gifts." So that fall, he's saying, from that limitlessness into this human situation isn't necessarily bad, because just like a child learns to walk, we learn to spiritually walk. Through the challenges, we learn how to step out into this divine connection with this ethereal realm, this unseen realm that is always moving, speaking, growing, doing the good in your life. And the best way for us to know if we're in tune with spirit or we're in tune with the universe is to look at how our life is unfolding. All the areas that it's having troubles and it's in discord, every bit of that is about you. What you believe about yourself, what you're thinking about yourself, all the things that are making all this difficult stuff happen in your life is a teacher for you to start believing that you're worthy of something different. And then allow yourself to receive. But ultimately, we have to make a firm decision. The firm decision is, will you believe that you can make a greater lens for a new life and no longer look backwards, no longer speak the old words, no longer be pulled back by lower natured people, that all of that is over and done? Vibrationally, words, mental, thoughts, all of that you're willing to step in and live almost in this bliss, and when all that stuff's trying to grab you, no longer grab it. That firm decision will change the rest of your life in this moment. And so it is. I love you.
I love that power of declaration like that. In Unity, we're blessed that, as Santisha was talking about, that the universe loves us and wants to give us everything. And it's only that soul nod away. It's our decision to choose what we listen to. So today, when we ask for an offering, this is your chance to move in that firm decision toward spirit. And that contributing to the flow will come to you. It is in giving that we receive. And we have all these ways to give. And I do want to say one that's not here is, if you're one of our, we really appreciate our regular reoccurring donors, but you can actually call the church, and if we set up a bank transfer, there's like a zero interest cut. Well, a lot of these different ways to give range from anywhere from like 3 to 5% that they charge us. But if you call us, I can send you a link and you can set up a transfer with the bank and there's no charge. So discern for yourself if that's something you want to do. That's an opportunity. Anyway, thank you for being part of this church and this vision, this spiritual center. Are you trying to kick me off the stage now, Jack?
I'm trying to say thank you for all the good work that you do.
All right.
No, really, you have this great insight. Your love is so beautiful. I see the work that you do in the office, and you've really helped us out because you figure out all this stuff about how to save money. And the rest of us are only thinking how to make it. Okay, once again, we've freely received beautiful inspirations. Why don't you take that thought with you out into the world where you live? You know, maybe you're looking forward to some phenomenal miracle experience happening in your life in this week that you'd be able to come back here and talk about. So we have the tools, we just have to open our awareness and let Spirit lead us right into it. So with that thought, that beautiful thought in mind, let's bring into our hands, into our minds, this gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder, and bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have the opportunity to listen to Rebecca Braxis share her amazing, one of the most amazing folk singers there is, right here. Why aren't you on television? You're phenomenal. Okay, we enjoy having you. Okay.
I think this song really goes to what Santisha's message was. I didn't know what that was going to be, so it's divine. And there's nothing left to do, and all I want is the truth. Though in my mind has nothing more to say, and the words become a blur, there's a little pulse inside that won't let my spirit hide. There's something I know, like a forgotten dream, and it's there for me to believe. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love, and I believe in what's to come. But when I start putting me down, my body cringes at the sound, and I forget what is real, and I berate all I built. But there's a little pulse inside that won't let my spirit hide. There's something I need, like a forgotten dream, and it's there for me to believe. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love. more than I thought I could. And there are words that cheapen my darkest moods. Which ones would you choose? No more picking the ones that lose. There's something I need, and it's as simple as a word, and it's there for me to believe. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love. I believe in you, I believe in me, I believe in love. And I believe in what's to come.
Beautiful song. Love that chorus. We can just take that with us and just sing that to ourselves. That will just change vibrations right there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we want to let you know that we have prayer partners available to you. If you're facing a challenge or even a joy, we have our prayer partners available, and you can just stay seated in your seat after the service, and they will come and find you and take you to our beautiful meditation room and pray with you. And we want you to join us at lunch. We're going to go over to 3 Margaritas in the shopping center off of 28th and Valmont and Balsam, actually, I think, right over there. We'll all be there around 12:45. And let's all rise and close with our closing songs. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now, church, everybody hear you. I be in the Spirit. Sound great. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. In my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes. All right, we'll see you at lunch. Galatians.